I'm going to replace the lower control arms, both sides, and the CV axle. I think it's a 2010, 2011 Nissan Altima. Alright, let me grab some stuff here. Just an initial look over on this thing. Let's see. So, I notice around this outer edge of this rotor, somewhere, and it's not supposed to be on that outer edge. What else? This is the driver's side with the axle. Let's see, somebody's been in here before. Of course, I don't know why all this, see this reddish dust? That, I don't know, that probably has to do with this outer edge stuff. What else we got? Want to see if that bolt's tightened. Somebody's been in here before, I noticed. Yeah, have to check that out. You see back in there on these lower controllers, these ball joints, like where she's ripped up. I've seen them a lot worser. A lot. Get the old pry bar on this thing, see what she does. Oh yeah. She's, wonder what the quite a bit. What we got down here? I'll get the pry bar in there killing. Same thing on the front. Let's see what this ball looks like. Yeah. She's, if I could just, camera skills and lighting skills. But yeah, she's got the give in it. I don't know what this little liquid is up around these bolts, those black drops of stuff. That stuff is wet, some type of condensation or something. But anyway, check the wheel bearing here. Huh. That might be part of it. I don't know. Let me move over to the other side. Yeah, I could move that CB axle around. That thing I was just checking, check that wheel bearing like that, I've learned. Other than that, everything's where it's supposed to be on this side. I say that because on this side there's a brake clip missing right here. It's supposed to be held up in place. So I got one somewhere. I'll get you together. This one's similar, a little bit of wear on this outer edge. Let me back it up some. And the red brake dust on this, the rust brake dust is what that is. Yeah. It's hard, man, trying to pry things around, get light on it, and hold a camera there at the same time. But yeah, she's, yeah. Look at that. This one's in worse shape than that other side over there. Let's see. Ball joint. Maybe. Something I noticed, some marks and stuff, and there's anti-seize around this bolt. Somebody's been in here before. I don't know what they replaced or what they did, just taking notes. Let's see. Yeah, that one's got the flex in it too. Man, if there's ever a good place to move around ball joints, I'd find it eventually. Huh. Checking this wheel bearing out again. Nice and tight. Oh yeah, the power steering. Got a power steering leak up in here. Remember you was telling me to take care of stuffs and whatnot. Let's see, right there, let me zoom in. Yeah. Get a little pointy doohickey thing. I don't know. I don't think it's coming so much from this sensor. I believe it is, but I see it's farther on up. And I don't think it's coming from this, what they call banjo boat, and these two copper crush washers. But I think it's coming more from a low pressure line up in there, that line. Yeah, I can see it. I'll have to tighten it up. Yeah, I'll take care of that. What else is there? Oil filters on tight. Boot's ripped on this outer tie rod, but it's in good shape. Go through and figure out some more stuff. What kind of a mark we got there? Rotors don't seem to be, yeah. This rotor seems to be warped. It's a lot more brown or brandish on this side than like here. It's a lot more silver from friction heat buildup. Let me spin this thing around and see what happens. Hey, so I'm up here checking some stuff out. This power steering hose, and it's coming from farther up and from down there also where it goes. I know my lighting's not the greatest. However, what I did notice was this. That is a bolt for the motor mount. Yeah, right here. And I don't know how loose it is other than it's way loose. Back in here's a gap, and then the bolt itself isn't tightened down to it. And I noticed right here there's more marks on that bolt from where it's shifting around. And the same thing down here on this one. Let me grab a wrench real quick to see what we got. Maybe it's an 18. Let's see. Oh, 17. This one's 18. Can't really get on it. Oh yeah, look at that. So I'll be sure to tighten that up. I don't know who done your work for you, but yeah, they made a boo-boo there. Let me see, get this 18, get this, get one of these. Let's throw this stuff on there. Yeah, that's tight. That one's tight. I don't know what the deal is. I'll check the other ones out because I can see the more marks from where they're shifting around quite a bit. Let me get zoomed in there. Boom. There you go. On this back side, back in there, and that front side of that bolt. And then as you seen, that one way loose, big, oh come on focus, big gaps and cracks back in here, and that's because the bolt's not even tightened up to it kind of thing. But I'll get to that in that power steering pump. Oh yeah, this rotor, she's warped, I believe. Yeah, as I'm pulling it through, it's real tough, and then it's real light. Yeah, I put white paint pen on there, and as you can see, it's just rubbed it out in some spots entirely and not hit it in others. That's just from where it's warped. So yeah, she spins real easy there, but then she hits again. So I don't know if you can hear that. Hear that? Yeah, that's where she's warped. So, and it's the same on the other side over there. So, rotors, tighten motor mount, and power steering. Same thing. Yep. All right. On to the next episode. It about trips me up whenever it gives away real easy. I about fall down doing that. Okay, major pain. Major pain. I figured it out. So, I got these tight. This one, went to go tighten it down. It's stripped out. That's what's going on. Whoever replaced this motor mount, actually it's nearer from the color of it. And they stripped that bolt out. So, oh boy. It's making contact down there on that motor mount. Why is that? It's not supposed to. Right there. Oh boy. Yep, making contact on that motor mount. Is it because it's upside down? So, yeah. There's that. Because it's upside down. Let me take a look at some diagrams and make for sure. So, yeah, I had to search it up there and get a good image of it. But notice how that 90-degree as is. That's opposite of how yours is. Whenever they replace this strut, they put it on upside down. And, of course, they stripped the bolt. So, I'm going to pull that off there. And this power steering reservoir while I fix that power steering leak on that hose. But I'm going to attempt to repair those threads somehow or another. It's going to be great. And I'll flip that around and put it right side up whenever I'm done. Yeah, so the guy that put this mount in, he had a heck of a time with it because of that 45. It won't slip in there the way it's supposed to because of that. If he would have just flipped it over, he wouldn't have had to take off, mount off and leave those bolts loose and stuff. See there? Slips right in place. However, I don't know. He devastated those threads. There ain't no threads left down in there. There's like dust. Atomized. Well, the threads, I guess you can see them. They're right there. They're what they're called pulled. They are no good. And he done the same to these things. I can save this bolt. This one here I'm just going to replace. And re-tap and die the holes down in there. My headlight, but yay, go to him. I got you. I'm going to get you fixed. Look at the little dust coming off that thing. Oh boy. Let me get a pick. Just want to pull out some of that little stuff there. Threads. Get my camera on there. Look at that. Can't make this up. Look at that. Oh man. Yep, I'll fix it. Alrighty, I'm back here the next day after staying up late, of course starting late, but yeah, that hole is smooth. She ain't got no threads. Well, way back in there where the threads don't reach. However, I'm going to start the process of getting those 3 bolts. There's actually 3 of them. The great big one I showed and then 2 smaller ones. Now, in here, this is like one of my specialties, man. This drawer full of extraction stuff. This drawer, extraction and thread removey stuff. And this one, some more stuff. Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm going to see what it takes to get this thing patched up. Yeah. So, this is what this looks like. With the diameter of that hole, if I do all this right, I don't have to drill it out. I could put this thread insert in there. I take the original bolt, and if you look, these threads, I just threaded on there. They're smaller, so I can fit the thread insert on there. Yeah. So, we're all hunky-dory. We'll get you patched up. Alrighty, and that's what that looks like. As you can see, I put a better clamp on here, and I just slide that one back, and the same thing with down in there. Yeah, let me wipe off my little camera here. I got oil on it, won't focus right. Alright, but see how that's cracked up right there, and it's the same thing down there on that lower one. If I could just zoom in. Come on, focus. But yeah, she's cracked around down there on that lower one. So I just put the better clamps on there. The other type of clamps, the factory clamps, they're spring tension. It's just a spring, and it loses springiness over time. That, in combination with that rubber hose, gets dry rotting. It's no longer soft, and she cracks. The hose is still good. It just needs more tension on it. Hence the new clamps, and that stops the leak on the power steering pump, which I got to refill because it all come out of there. So yeah. And this is what this looks like whenever it's put back together, right? Oh, let me back up some. As you notice, the square edge, I called it a 45, and anyway, the 90 is at the top, and the rounded goes towards the bottom. And of course, the bolt is drawn up in there if I can get my lighting right. Yeah, no more gap back in here, and the bolt's tight. Fixed. About ready to get in the process of replacing this CV axle. Now, seeing how I ordered the wrong wire control arms, I may have ordered the wrong CV axle. We'll find out. Okay, so I'm having a heck of a time with this thing. Something I noticed, this is that axle on this driver's side, making that noise. Give me a second here to get set up. Alright, what I'm doing right now, I'm just setting the axle up in here. Kind of thing. So I can get it in the back of this steering knuckle. Oh, there we go. Now, this is the interesting part. I'm going to get a bolt put in here or something. It would kind of... Oh, come on, get in there. Alright. So, this is what we had. Reason why it wasn't clicking like that is because they had this big nut on there tight. Yeah. So that's the wrong CV axle that they had in there in the first place. Oh boy, so yeah, I'm just trying to figure it out. I got the one from AutoZone and then the Detroit axle there, and something's not matching up right. I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna figure it out. That I don't know how guys do that kind of stuff, man. And then they're like, well, I'm gonna go to sleep now. This thing's put in here backwards, but the snout back in there, that's the important part. That fits. However, this part, which goes up in the transmission, doesn't fit. And, of course, it's reversed on the AutoZone axle. The transmission parts fits, but the out here at the wheel bearing doesn't fit. Alright, so having them laid out, what was in there, this part was wrong. This AutoZone, and this, I think this is where a GoPro come in handy. It's my little baby tapping dice set. I'm able to get around the garage a lot with it. But yeah, the GoPro, as far as like drilling and tapping these different holes and thread repair stuff, yeah, this one I actually got to put a little bit bigger bolt in it, so I'm opening it up a little bit. And these little burr bit and stuff. That one is the original bolt. I cleaned up the threads, the male threads on the bolt, and then the female threads on the nut down in there. Tapped both those out, got it to go good. This is the one that come out of that hole. I know it don't do no justice. Whoa, but she's boogered up pretty good. I was able to save that other one though and just use it in the other hole. Yeah.